Hello everyone. I have found something that I think you're gonna like. Right on the tail of the Parallel Universes video that I did. Last night I found this movie with Nicolas Cage, The Unbearable Weight of Massive Talent. This film was released April 22nd, 2022. I had not heard of this film until yesterday, but this film basically is telling exactly what I had said in the Parallel Universes video. Nicolas Cage is playing himself in a movie, okay, you follow this, about how his movies become his life. So, it's very meta. He finds himself repeating scenes from movies he's been in while he is hanging out with this guy, Javier, who is a fan of his, and they are writing a movie together that ends up being a movie about this experience. So it's like a movie within a movie within a movie, Russian doll style. But what I really wanted to draw your attention to was the fact that his movies become part of his life. Now it's a little bit compact because it's all within a certain experience, like within a short time frame of his visit with this guy Javi. But it does show you how this comes to be in your own life. So some of the scenes are very subtle references to his other films. If you have not seen Nicolas Cage's movies, however, they're not obvious enough that you would recall them, which I like, because that is how it is in your own life. And it isn't as literal as they show you in this film. And this is precisely what I've been pointing out with the Johnny Depp stuff I've been doing. Nicolas Cage is the one who convinced Johnny Depp to become an actor. So Nicolas Cage and Johnny Depp either were friends or are friends, and I think they're still friends. And Nicolas Cage is also friends with Marilyn Manson, who is also friends with Johnny Depp. So they're all interconnected. Everything's connected. I'll show you a little bit of the trailer in a minute, but I wanted to mention this review by RogerEbert.com. Sticking Cage in a plotline straight out of one of his action films like Gone in 60 Seconds or National Treasure could easily begin to feel like a gimmick, but the filmmakers pull from every corner of his filmography to craft something transcendent. A poolside breakdown harkens back to Cage's Oscar-winning performance in Leaving Las Vegas. His chemistry with Pascal as the two begin working on a screenplay together keeps the film grounded in character over plot, real emotions over artifice. And this is why I like their approach. It's not gimmicky. It's not like those slapstick airplane type films, which it easily could have been to make it more obvious. In a surreal twist, Cage further flexes his acting chops a la Adaptation, playing the dual role of Nicky, where he's credited by his real name, Nicholas Kim Coppola, a grotesque ghost of his past self, styled like the autre characters he played in Wild at Heart and Vampire's Kiss. Nicky is always there reminding him he is a movie star. This is why I wanted to read this to you, because even in this article they're pointing out that he is a star. He's not just an actor working on his craft or a father patching up a rough relationship with his daughter. Always, these multiple aspects of himself wrestle inside Nick, stunting his ability to grow into the man he needs to be for his family. These fictional Cages offer the real Cage the space to marvel at his own myth-making, the real impact he's had on his fans, and a showcase to remind Hollywood of his range. So here is the trailer.
What's the worry here, Nick? You've lost some of your talent as an actor?
No. What did he say?
He says he loves you, but he went in a different direction.
I'm done. I'm quitting acting.
Ah, man, I'm driving through the hills. I'm sorry. One more time.
We got another offer. It's $1 million. It's to attend a wealthy gentleman's birthday party.
The guy that owns this house, what's his name?
Javi. Mr. Cage.
Excuse me, is Javi going to want me to,
I'm not sure I understand.
Look, if Javi...
I am Javi.
Nick Cage. God, This place is stunning. What is your favorite movie? That's one of those questions that's impossible to answer. You can't just limit it to one.
Imagine me and you, I do.
Is it too much? Is this supposed to be me? It's grotesque. I'll give you 20,000 for it. I didn't know that was a cliff. We could have died.
I'm in position.
I think that's the actor Nick Cage.
Nick Cage? I love you. Have you seen Crudes 2?
I'm 44 years old. Why would I see Crudes 2? I've seen Face Off and Con Air.
What do you guys want?
We're with Central Intelligence. Do you know who you're spending time with? One of the most ruthless men on the face of this planet. I need you to help the U.S. government.
Let's kill this.
Find a way into that room, Nick.
I can see myself doing more of this stuff. I think I might have a real gift for it.
Good, because we got another mission for you.
No.
Your friend is working for the U.S. government.
Don't lie to me.
Are those my golden guns?
They're my golden guns.
I don't want to kill you.
You're the last person I want to kill.
I love you. I love you.
I'm Nick Friggin! Whoa, Cage!
Javi is such a big fan. He's collected memorabilia from Cage's movies and even has a life-size figure of him. And they have a bit of a bromance. The subtleties are brilliant in this script because even though, Javi and Cage become friends, this dynamic is very much like Face Off in the sense that they are forced to confront each other and kill each other. But in the overall arc of the film, their companionship forces them to face themselves and forces them to deal with their own issues, and they become better people as a result of it. It's kind of mind-blowing how they did this. They overcame their issues kind of by swapping places, kind of by becoming one another. I think that's symbolized in the moment where they change shoes, so that instead of swapping faces, they swap shoes. I would have to go back and watch all of Cage's films to dissect the subtleties in this film and what it is actually conveying, because I suspect that there's some hidden depths in here just from that explanation that I just gave you. So here's the scene where they confront each other, which is from Face Off. This moment here is a classic moment from Face Off where they meet each other and they are playing each other. They've kind of swapped places already.
Your friend is working for the U.S. government.
Don't lie to me.
Are those my golden guns?
They're my golden guns.
I don't want to kill you.
You're the last person I want to kill.
I love you. I love you.
This clip here is perfectly parallel in a very complex way to basically the whole plot of the movie, in the sense that this clip exemplifies the duality in Nicolas Cage. In Javi and Nicolas, both are mirrored within this one scene.
I've been chasing this guy ever since I joined the force. He has no conscience, and he shows no remorse. He's the mastermind behind numerous bombings and political assassinations. He has a felony list a mile long: murder, arson, kidnapping, terrorism, you name it. He's the most dangerous and brilliant criminal mind I've ever known. For years, I've been watching him, tracking him, studying his every move. I know his every mannerism, facial tic, gesture. I know him better than he knows himself. And now, after all this time, I finally figured out a way to trap him. I will become him.
Javi, having spied or tracked Nicolas Cage's career for all of this time. He's obsessed with him. He knows how he knows everything about him in every single movie he's ever been in. He's watched all the behind the scenes clips. He knows everything about Nicolas Cage. So he's kind of become him. In that sense, it's true about Javi. It's also true about Nicolas Cage, ultimately, because Nicolas Cage has to watch Javi thinking that he is this notorious killer, and he has to become him by becoming a killer himself, by tracking him, becoming a member of the CIA, becoming a spy, and ultimately killing people. This scene exemplifies the duality, the dual nature of his personality. Okay, so this is the trailer to The Rock from 1996, and Nicolas Cage is an FBI agent, kind of similar to CIA, not quite, but kind of.
At least he got his name right. Now, all that stands between a city and a disaster.
The power of this chemical is way beyond anything you can imagine. That's why you're coming with us.
Is a man who's never seen combat.
And in the movie Unbearable Weight of Great Talent, Nicolas Cage has never seen combat. He's only seen it as an actor, but he has got to see combat in order to save the day. This is a clip from Cage's film adaptation in which he plays a screenwriter who's struggling from writer's block. He ends up writing himself into the screenplay. He also projects an aspect of himself as a twin that doesn't exist, who doesn't have a problem with writer's block, whom he hates. So it's basically a representation of his former self who had an easy time of writing scripts, and now he hates that aspect of himself because he's struggling. And this is represented in the film Unbearable Weight when Cage projects a version of himself as Nicky, representing his ego, because all he cares about is being a movie star, his ego, who he is, his image.
What are you talking about? We haven't worked since you were 15. 41 years. To be number 7 on the call sheet of a goddamn student film. I think it's a good idea. You listen to me. Addie doesn't need a struggling artist for a father. She needs you to be a star. Now you get the next one, baby, and we're back. Not that we went anywhere. Not that we went anywhere.
And he ultimately ends up destroying that part of himself. He hates that part of himself. And that part of himself destroyed his relationship with his family, with his wife and his child, which is essentially what he needs to resolve in this film. So he is the serpent eating his tail, which Kaufman is here. When he writes himself into the screenplay, he finds it very narcissistic, solipsistic, Ouroboros, serpent eating its tail, and realizes that he has a problem. That is the same problem that Cage has in his own life in this film. Cage also projects a different aspect of himself, which is his fan, his ultimate fan, which is Javi. But Javi actually exists, or does he? Javi adores him, loves him, finds him to be the most wonderful actor of all time, has all of his memorabilia from all of his films, has watched all of his behind-the-scenes moments, knows everything about him, and so Javi loves him.
I dare you to do your best impression. It can be of anything. A person, an animal, a machine.
Okay, you ready?
Yeah.
What do you say we cut the chit-chat a-hole?
Was that me?
Yes, I'm sorry.
Well, that's pretty good, but you got to do it a little faster, and you really got to hit the A hard. It's like, what do you say we cut the chit-chat a-hole?
What do you say we cut the chit-chat a-hole?
No, it's not a question. You've just given an escaped convict unearned time with his daughter before the feds bust in, and there's 15 VX nerve gas missiles pointed directly at San Francisco. Do it again.
What do you say we cut the chit-chat a-hole?
What do you say we cut the chit-chat a-hole?
What do you say we cut the chit-chat a-hole?
Cut the chit-chat a-hole.
We cut the chit-chat a-hole.
Chit-chat a-hole.
Chit-chat a-hole.
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 What do you say? What do you say?
Come do their squirt speed.
Fuck, Harry. What do you say? What do you say? What do you say we cut the chit-chat a-hole?
Yeah, music. Beautiful.
So Javi and Cage end up writing a screenplay together in which they write themselves into the screenplay. So the same thing is happening there. Now, the twin in adaptation writes a screenplay called The Three. And so in this film, he has written the script in which he's consuming himself. He was talking about the Ouroboros, while Kaufman has also just realized that he's done the same thing in his screenplay by writing himself in the script, and Cage has done the same thing by projecting his dualistic aspects of himself outward in the form of younger Cage, Nikki, and fan Cage, Javi, so that he could revive his career and restore his life and repair his relationship with his wife and his child. It's absolute brilliance. So here's the scene.
Who am I kidding? This is not Susan story. I have no connection with her. I can't even meet her. I can't meet anyone.
I have no understanding of anything outside of my own panic and self-loathing and pathetic little existence. It's like the only thing I'm actually qualified to write about is myself and my own self. We open on Charlie Kaufman. Fat, old, bald, repulsive.
He says the only thing he's qualified to write about is himself. Nicolas Cage in Unbearable Weight is obsessed with himself. He's obsessed with his image, his movie career, being an actor, everything about the movies, everything about himself, and it has destroyed his relationship with his daughter and his wife, which he must restore. And the only way that he can do that is by destroying that ego part of himself.
Sitting in a Hollywood restaurant across from Valerie Thomas, a lovely, statuesque film executive, Kaufman, trying to get a writing assignment, wanting to impress her, sweats profusely.
So in the beginning of Unbearable Weight, Cage is having an existential crisis, much like Kaufman's having an existential crisis. His career is stalled. He can't get forward. He just lost an acting role that he thought he had, and he ended up losing in an audition. And so he's struggling with his sense of self and his self-worth and whether he's actually got a career left, which is why he quits acting. And then ultimately he revives his own career.
Fat, bald, Kaufman paces furiously in his bedroom. He speaks into his handheld tape recorder and he says, Charlie Kaufman, fat, bald, repulsive, old, sits at a Hollywood restaurant with Valerie Thomas. Kaufman, repugnant, ridiculous, jerks off to the book jacket photo of Susan Orlean. What do you want? I finished my script. I'm done.
This is the projection of himself, which is his shadow self. Ironically, the shadow self in this clip, he's actually not dark, but it's the part of himself that he doesn't want to look at. It's his ego. The part of him that was successful that he now was sort of buried because he feels bad about himself that he's not that guy anymore. So he doesn't want to look at that guy anymore. And so this is a representation of his shadow self, which is why he's standing in the shadows.
So would you show it to your agent? It's called The Three. Thanks. I also want to thank you for your idea. It was very helpful. I changed it a little. Now the killer cuts off body pieces and makes his victims eat them. It's kind of like Caroline has this great tattoo of a snake swallowing its own tail. And Ouroboros. I don't know what that means. The snake, it's called Ouroboros. I don't think so. But anyway, it's cool for my killer to have this modus operandi because at the end, when he forces the woman who's really him to eat herself, he's also eating himself to death. I'm insane. I'm Ouroboros. I don't know what that word means. I've written myself into my screenplay. That's kind of weird, huh? It's self-indulgent. It's narcissistic. It's solipsistic. It's pathetic. I'm pathetic. I'm fat and pathetic. I'm sure you had good reasons, Charles. You're an artist. The reason is because I'm too timid to speak to the woman who wrote the book. Because I'm pathetic. Because I have no idea how to write. Because I can't make flowers fascinating. Because I suck. Am I in the script? I'm going to New York. I'll meet her. That's it. That's what I have to do.
So this film is a brilliant presentation of what it looks like for your parallel lives to come into your current life through the movies. I highly recommend you go watch it to see what that looks like. If you want to have a deeper understanding of what this looks like, then go watch Cage's films and then watch this film. you should see quite a lot of parallels between that and the work I've done on Johnny Depp, as well as parallel universes and my body of work on the television. Thank you for watching. I hope you're having a great day. I will talk to you soon. Bye for now.